3, 2, 1, go. Welcome to Grounds After Rounds.
Cool. All right. Welcome to Grounds After Rounds. Look, I'm a ventriloquist. Welcome to Grounds After. Wait.
What was it? With masks. There was a cartoon with a ventriloquist was wearing his mask, and he goes, "Mom, I think I can finally make it." Because nobody can see his mouth moving.
Perfect.
Yeah, exactly. But I love, and it's like clearly he's like a 40-something,
yeah.
You know, and it's like he's still living in his mom's basement, trying to be a ventriloquist, and he can still finally make it.
Oh my gosh.
Disclaimer: no offense to
ventriloquists.
40-year-old men.
I feel like it'd be ventriloqui. Is that the plural of ventriloquist?
I don't know. Is it? Well, I think that's Jamiroquai's cousin from France. And if you still live with your mom in her basement, no offense meant.
Yes.
So all of those populations, or dummies, or wooden dummies with holes in their butts.
Right. Or if you just happen to have a hand in your butt. Never mind. Let's move on. So
welcome to Grounds After Rounds. An auspicious start.
Oh my gosh.
That was fun. That was fun.
So here we are.
Hey, Eric. To continue with did we tell this joke last week? I feel like I keep telling this joke a lot. What the elephant said to the naked man?
Yeah, so good.
Did we tell this on this, or did we tell?
I told it
at the meeting.
I don't know if I told it. I know I told it in class. Maybe it was. I don't know.
I still like.
You know what? I don't know. What
I was at the zoo the other day, and I heard this elephant. It was a naked guy walking down the street, and the elephant said to him, "Hey, bro, how do you breathe through that thing?" I mean, it's so funny. Why is there a naked guy at the zoo? Why am I at the zoo? Why is there a naked guy at the zoo? And I didn't know elephants use bro. That's pretty cool. Boom.
There you go.
That was my addendum.
Oh my gosh. Speaking of animals, have you heard about that fish that has two knees?
No, but I love it.
It's a toonie fish.
Toonie?
It's a toonie fish.
Is that a real type of fish?
No, it's plain tuna fish.
Oh, that's still.
We'll come
really
back
good.
to it. I'm so excited. We'll definitely have to come back to this next week. Because I was excited about the you laugh, you lose.
I'm sorry, I didn't do my homework. I got a homework assignment from my boss and I didn't do it.
But you know what? Here's what I think. And if you're listening, here's what I think we should do. So we should do a you laugh, you lose challenge. And this is where you and I will just tell jokes back and forth. If you laugh, you lose. And we'll do maybe.
I'm going to lose so fast.
And well, it's so funny because I feel like even as I'm like writing these down for my list, Shelly would be horrible at this game because I'm even.
She's laughing right now.
I'm laughing at them. So why do melons have weddings? Because they can't elope. And I'm laughing as I'm writing them. It's like,
no, they're stuffed.
So if anything, tell you what, it's good. Like this week, we're going to do a you laugh, you lose. Jack didn't do his homework, which is funny. Like roles reversed. That was always my thing. I didn't do my homework. I could have gotten 100% in Spanish in high school all 4 years, but I always got a C because I didn't do my homework. But why do I need to do the homework? I already knew it.
Yeah.
So it was a waste of time.
You're not speaking Spanish right now, though.
Or am I?
I don't know. I'm really confused now. I need a nap.
And so maybe this is where chance for the listeners. And let's be realistic. What happens to the person that laughs and loses? So what is the penalty for a laugh? If you laugh, you lose. So what do you do?
I don't know.
So
we'll think about it.
Obviously,
leave us a review if you would like to see us do some stupid human tricks. Maybe it's shave our heads. I'm not shaving my head. I'm not going to be. I don't think I might be able to get a haircut. This is out on Friday, so this is probably already gone. Most of it.
Are you going this week?
I was going to try and go today, but it ain't happening. And so today is Wednesday. We're recording.
Are you going to go see him?
I am.
Did you have his number? Do you need?
No,
you got to do an appointment.
That's why I was going to try and make one for tomorrow for Thursday.
Awesome.
Is that cool?
I'll send you his number.
There's nothing online. You got to call.
It's just shoot him a text.
Okay.
Yep.
Oh,
shoot
cool.
him a text. You just say, hey, just tell him Eric sent you. I'll know what it means. All right. So anyway, yeah. So that's our suggestion. So we'll do you laugh, you lose next week. And
I like it.
Let's be realistic, and we'll pick. If you guys don't come up with anything good, we'll probably just veto it. And come with something more realistic.
It'll be $1. $1.
Ooh. Perfect.
We're trading places.
Cool.
Spaces,
So,
places.
Speaking of things coming up, it is Open Week.
It's here, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes,
it's here.
It is officially here. By the time you're listening to this guy's already done it. I'll be hitting it later today, and we're very excited.
I am excited.
Finally, the CrossFit Open's finally here. It feels like forever. It has been a year and a half.
Yeah.
And here we are.
I always get like, it's not anticlimactic, but it's the same. I feel like I've said this before, like even like Thanksgiving breaks coming out of school, or holidays, birthdays and stuff. Like I always enjoy the anticipation way more than the actual thing itself. So like now that it's here, I'm kind of like, okay, it's just another day. Like it's just another event, another workout. There is an excitement, and like it feels very fun.
Yeah.
But I don't get that, like, I've never sort of gotten that. Like I remember as a midshipman, as a college student, like people running down the hallway and out of their rooms to like go on Thanksgiving break. And I'm like, if you're that excited about leaving here, should you really be here? Like if you're that excited to not be in the place you're in, shouldn't you use that as a guide of like, should you really be doing this?
Here?
Like, I think you're putting a lot of anticipation on some sort of future pleasure rather than just being where you are. And so that's where I've enjoyed the anticipation up to the Open, but I kind of look at the Open as like, it's just the same opportunity to learn and train and figure stuff out. And like, I wrote about it on the blog this week it is the best way to test CrossFit's methodology,
right?
Because it's not one shot. You can do it as many times, the Open workout as many times as you want in the 4-day period. But anyway, so I'm super excited. But if people are like, you guys didn't really sound that excited, this is exciting.
It's how I feel about Christmas. Like,
yes,
I love the weeks leading up to Christmas. I love the decorations. I love the mood people are in. I love the spirit of it. I love the anticipation, and then
especially the parking lot at malls before COVID. I loved that. That was such a cool experience.
So I always had a Jeep. When I drove the Jeep, I was like, and that's what the medians are for, and that's what the gosh. So there are no rules when it's parking during
drivable terrain, man. That's a formal tactical term in combat
terrain.
Driving. Drivable terrain.
Most
everything in a Humvee is drivable terrain.
There you go. Yep. But yeah,
Kids,
so I'm with you.
Dogs,
so it's here, and then like
old people. Oh, sorry. That got a little dark.
Very dark. So the Open is here, and we're glad it's here.
Yeah,
it's good. This will
cool.
be fun. Cool.
All right, we'll see you guys in the gym.
So, how do you feel after that workout?
I'm exhausted.
Yeah,
it was great. Really good push. Love it.
I saw your first place in the world on the top of the leaderboard.
That's usually what I do. I try and get it in there as quickly as possible.
Yeah. So you'd be first place ever.
And I usually take a screenshot and send it to Andy. Bring it.
First place. I'm the top 0.01%. So here we are. So we'll take this opportunity real quick to kind of clarify. I think we've talked about it a lot, but now that it's here, I think it'll resonate a little bit better. So the CrossFit Open workout, they get released Thursday night, and
8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time will be the release of the CrossFit Games Open workout on games.crossfit.com or through their YouTube channel, or you can stream it on their Facebook channel.
There you go.
Sorry to interrupt you. I was
you're
jumping in there.
We
will go live around 8:30 p.m.
That's always dependent on the workout. If it's
Correct.
like 20-minute monstrosity, it usually means we'll start a little bit later.
Yeah, but that idea gives us a chance to watch it, think about it, start warming up, set up the technology and stuff, and then we'll go live usually about 2 or 3 minutes before we're hitting 3, 2, 1, go.
Right.
We'll do a little commentary, maybe introduce the players. There's going to be some new faces, but they may look familiar to some of you. Sort of like not carbon copies, but like copy of copies.
Yeah.
Of this.
Yeah. Right. They've all got a flow going a little bit.
Yeah. And we may have a Thor's hammer appearance. So
yes,
or had a Thor's hammer appearance, perhaps.
Yes.
Don't know.
At what point, like, I feel like, if he's going to be there, can we just make it a point that he has to have his shirt, he's got to pop that thing off Like,
Even if he's just the camera crew.
by 3, 2, 1, go, he's got to pop that shirt off. And if he's just a camera crew, like, just give us a quick, like, oh. Yeah, that's all I
and
need.
then, so that'll be Friday, all day Friday, all classes on Friday.
So classes on Friday.
The open workout will be released as 4 different versions: RX, prescribed, scaled, foundations, and then there is an equipment-free version, which, as described by the home office, is on par from a difficulty standpoint as the prescribed RX version. So let's say it was like overhead squats and something, you might expect to see pistols in the body weight version. So if you are a body weight, if you're planning on doing, if you're planning on doing the body weight version, you may still need some assistance from your coach to kind of figure out what's an appropriate scale, whatever. Most of us will probably either be doing the RX, the scaled, or the foundations workout. Now, come Monday, you will be pleasantly surprised or infinitely irritated to see that we will have programmed 21.1 again. And then next Monday, you will be the same to see that we've programmed 21.2 again, and then the following week, 21.3. The reason being is that we are giving everybody an opportunity to either complete it on Friday and or Monday. So let's say I do it RX on Friday, and I'm not pleased with my score and I want to try it again on Monday. Have at it.
There you go.
Say I do it on Friday and I'm pleased with my score and I don't really want to do it again like that. Maybe I do it scaled. Maybe I do it as the foundation. Maybe I give the body weight shot. And let's say you do it on Friday because you're a team player and you sign up and you're like, I never want to do anything like that workout again. We will have a third option. So really a second option, but a non-open WOD, which the intended stimulus will still be in the same time domain. It'll still be relatively similar movements. It won't derail kind of the training of Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday to set up the next cycle on that Friday.
In which case, like, let's say there happens to be thrusters in the workout. Maybe the alternative non-open workout might have wall balls in it.
You got it.
So
exactly.
it's a similar idea, but just something different. That way, when you're done with the open, you can be done with the open and move on with the rest of your life.
And you can probably expect, if you're doing the non-open WOD option, you're gonna have movements that most likely will not be in the open in those workouts. So like rowing, you may have ring rows, you may have push-ups. Like they're gonna be things that elicit a
backwards
similar
overhead med ball runs.
That would be fun. Something that is a similar push-pull squat modality, but maybe and similar difficulty, like movement difficulty, but not the same movement, so that we're not getting a lot of duplicate stuff as we move forward. So there you go. So
that's what Fridays will look like. And so, and again, a little shift from what it's looked like in the past, where we've had Friday night lights. This year there will not be Friday night lights. Plan is for that to be temporary. Fingers crossed for 2022.
Got my second shot. I'm all vaccinated up.
All vaccinated up.
Yeah.
Your skin looks great.
Yeah.
Is that what that is?
And the Vaseline.
Yeah. Shifting gears. So there's the open. And that's what it'll look like at the gym. So Fridays, Mondays, you can do the open Friday, Monday. If you're done with it Friday, you can do a different version or a completely different workout on Monday as
not of your choosing.
Not of your choosing.
You don't just get to go, I'm gonna do
and if we haven't made it clear as to what that is, if you come Monday like, so what am I supposed to do? You're probably gonna get this first. You can do this or this. And if you can't figure it out, I will probably tell you, you get to do the scaled version of the open just to make my life easier.
Or just there's always the 7 minutes of burpee option.
Right.
Yeah. All the time. That
go.
Is always an option. If you come in and you see a workout on the board and you're like, I don't want to do that, you can always choose to do 7 minutes of burpees or 300 calories for time on the Echo
bike. Oh, I like those options.
Yeah. Those are your two. I would say that is a standing option. It's kind of like when we used to go out to dinner with Matthew when he was little, and he wasn't even that little. Didn't matter what was on the menu. If he didn't like it, he'd be like, can I just get pasta? He would just get just plain noodles. They'd always have noodles, and he'd put ketchup on them.
There you go.
Yeah. So, and we'd pay $8 for that.
Yeah.
Almost every single time.
You got to be careful though, because they might send you those fake noodles,
From pig anus.
the impasta.
Let's get. See, I'm going to lose this challenge so fast. It's not fair.
So there we go. Opens on Fridays. It is officially here
Prince,
as of the
I feel
time
like
you're
Prince
listening.
Oberlin, or whatever, and you're the mountain. And I'm gonna think I have you down, and then you're gonna crush my skull in through my
I'm gonna
eyes.
pop your eyes.
Yeah, you're gonna pop my head. Pop.
There you go.
I just watched that episode about a day or two ago.
that's
Oh my god, her scream! That is like the most gut-wrenching scream. Like that actress nails it. Like, because
She's so
everyone's like,
good.
he's won, and then he gets flipped over, and she'd punch him, and all his teeth go flying out of his mouth.
God.
Oh my god,
That was a heartbreaking episode.
Oh, and then the Red Wedding. It's the song of the Reigns of Castor.
Reigns of Castamere.
Yeah, Reigns of Castamere when the Starks get killed. Oh,
Mm.
those.
Can I tell you
those
too?
writers just
This is that show, any movie, when they put down the
Direwolves.
direwolf, I'm just like when a dog dies in a movie.
Right,
I'm just
you just watched a human being get stabbed through the chest, a pregnant woman gets stubbed in the belly,
Don't even care.
and a wife and a woman and
whatever, it's TV.
Yeah, she gets her throat cut, but the dog gets shot. We're all crying.
I'm just like done. I'm out. Stupid movie, show, book. Darn you, George R.R. Martin. Get one middle name like a normal person. All right. Anyway,
so Eric, explain to me. You guys talk in the gym all this time about like we can scale anything, blah blah blah. But now you're telling me in the open workout I have to do it in one of these 3 ways that I can't just make up my own. I have to do it this way. I don't understand.
So that's a great question, Jack. Because let's talk about it.
Okay.
The difference between scaled and RX. We've
Okay.
talked about this before. And fantastic blog post up
Thanks.
at fairwindscrossfit.com. Go to the main page, click blog. You can also find it in the newsletter. If you don't get the newsletter, tell me.
What are you doing?
Check your spam folder. Anyway, so the difference between RX versus scaled. And so in the purpose of the open, it's a totally different end goal when you do an open workout compared to everyday training.
Okay.
Cool. And we know this. I love I'm like schooling you right now. I was like, let me tell you about the blog you wrote.
So what is that? Then what is the goal in the open? What am I doing? Why am I doing it?
The goal of the open is a test of your fitness.
Oh, well, what's that mean? What's fitness?
Well, it's the ability to move large loads, long distances quickly.
You mean work capacity across broad time and modal domains?
There you go. While eating meats, vegetables, nuts and seeds.
No, that's the prescription to get improved work capacity and get fitness. Now, I have to. I've written it down so many times now, and having just did the level 2 again, like it's like, oh right, like all the words flow into each other,
right?
That it does make sense.
No, it makes sense.
Exactly. Like, and it never didn't make sense. It always has made sense to me. It's just, oh, I see why the order of the words matter.
Yeah.
And actually why I'm screwing it up. Work capacity across broad time and modal. Broad modal and time domains matters too, because it has to do with the mode or how you're doing things. Matters, and in the end the time should be last, because that's the most independent variable in this whole equation.
Right.
Force and displacement over time.
Yep.
This is the one that if I can change it, aka get faster, I have the biggest bang for my buck versus force and displacement, or weight and displacement, weight and distance. Like that's just from a mathematical equation, time is most important.
Right.
Anyway,
now here's a question. I feel like with CrossFit, what's beautiful about CrossFit is it's found this way to get the most bang for your buck within, let's say, an hour-long class. But I think we're totally, and this is revolutionary, and so you heard it here first. Let's work on increasing work capacity across broad time modal domains, while eating meats and vegetables, nuts, seeds, some fruits, low starch, no sugar. What I'm saying is, while you're working out, be eating that food. So like you're feeling like while you're feeling in the moment, and we just got significantly fitter.
So if you could make like a camelback with all of your food blended, and then it's like directly inserted into your stomach via like a tube or something.
Right.
You could just keep going, and then like a plane, you could have like a big truck Like while you're out on a run, they kind of run up alongside you, chuck the big tube, in your camelback.
Oh, in your camelback.
And you could like refuel on the run.
I love it.
Yeah.
Which is great too, because I'm sitting there thinking like, how much time are we wasting? How much energy are we wasting chewing? Like we should learn to eat like ducks.
What would we call this? CrossFit fueling on the run? No, it'd have to be something totally different.
Fuel wins.
Fuel fit. Fit fuel.
Oh my gosh.
I think that might be something already.
Which is nice. We'll be up on the we'll be higher up on the list from Soldier Fit and like,
right. Alphabetically.
Yeah.
Good call. Alpha Fuel Fit.
There you go.
A1 plus Alpha.
There you go. Which, not to go off on the tangent, we'll get back to actually what we were talking about. If you're driving to Crofton, like you get off 50, drive to Crofton, right as you get to the fire department, and the sign has been there for years, and I always laugh at it because the sign is an advertisement for a signed company.
Yeah.
And the company is called A Sign, A-Sign.
Yeah.
And I'm sort of thinking like the only reason it is called A Sign is it's
top of the
number
phone book.
one, top of the list on the the phone book.
A1 Automotive Mechanics, right?
Yeah,
like that's
exactly.
It's awesome. And Arundel, Honest Eddie on Forest Drive. A1 Arundel or whatever.
Yep.
I don't even know the name of his shop.
Who
But
cares?
Genius.
Yeah. But
Also, very good mechanic. Highly recommend. Great job. Super honest. Super fast. That's where we take all our cars.
So we are A1 Fuel Fit Fairwinds
CrossFit. We'll keep the affiliation.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right,
Until they're like, what are you monkeys doing? You're out. You're done.
We're changing the game. Anyway, back to it. So the difference is the test of fitness being the CrossFit Open. So
yes.
If
it's a test, then that means there's a difference in how much you're allowed to vary or change within the test, right? Like, so I like this metaphor. I was going to use the basketball metaphor, but it's not, right? Like throughout the school year, let's say I'm in an AP class, advanced placement class. You're taking practice AP tests throughout it so that when it comes time for the AP exam, you sit down and it is standardized. You have to have the right number. You have to have the right pencils. You are not allowed to use a calculator. You can and can't use certain pieces of paper. You can and can't bring certain things in with you, right? Like there are these rules. And so along the way, I remember taking my AP calculus class back in high school. Our teacher, like starting in January, up and throughout the whole fall semester, we were like learning. And then basically from January to March, we were taking practice AP tests in like little parts and pieces every week, 2 or 3 times a week. Now you're still learning more material because he's got a lot to get through, but he was then layering on the feeling of the exam.
Right.
And when it came time for the exam, I remember there were a couple students in my class who were like freaking out. They're like, "Well, it says here I can't have and I just wanted to be like, hey, dumbass, like, he's been telling us this since January. Did you think he was kidding? Like that's why we've been practicing. And he has said like, hey, I want you to practice doing it this time without this crutch, without this crutch. Because when it comes time for game time, there's going to be these arbitrarily set rules that we don't change.
Yep.
And that I feel like
get that crutch.
Right. It's not even a crutch, but just the idea of like, look, the test is there to see when the unknown and unknowable comes out of the hopper, comes around the corner. That, the idea of like, I'm just going to pick some random things. The CrossFitter, the athlete who is most balanced across the 10 general physical skills, has developed their work capacity across the broadest modal and time domains, who has worked on short, medium, and long. Regardless of what comes out of the hopper,
weightlifting, gymnastics, monostructural, like all
that person is going to be the most prepared to deal with whatever comes out. But the person who always scales a certain way or always modifies or always does this, they will not. They have developed the really good ability to be really good in class, or you know what I mean, like whatever. And then at the end of the day, none of this actually matters because none of us are going to the CrossFit Games.
Yeah, like you can't, unless you have a specific goal, like you're not going to fail
Right.
test of your fitness in the CrossFit game.
And so the stakes, I just described it like, oh my God, this is so exciting. I'm so
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you a lot of anxiety around it. It's like, okay, well then stop. Who cares?
Who
Then
cares?
we will just change the rules to the game because it doesn't really matter.
Doesn't really matter.
It only matters if you want it to. And because they've designed the system and created this platform for us to test ourselves in, I say use it. And it's an awesome benchmark once a year to then guide off of for the next 11 months. And then it comes back around again and we try it again. And that
Use that curiosity and courage to just go for it.
Yeah, that's what I mean as far as, and I wrote it too, that, and this year, the amount of flexibility and openness that the CrossFit geniuses have created for the open.
Yeah.
You have 2 new full versions of the workout each time. When this thing started, you had one. You had the workout or the event.
RX.
That was it.
This is how it's done.
Like there was no other option. Then they added scaled, which was like, this is really cool. They added 2 more in this year alone. Plus they've added multiple age group divisions, plus outside of 60 plus.
Yeah.
Plus they've added the adapted division. Wow. Like
I feel like
crap.
the only like next logical step is to have someone come do the workout for you. Like that's about as far that I feel like, and I'm sure they'll prove me wrong, but like they're giving you every opportunity to.
And what is
find
really
the one that's
cool
for you.
is so up to before this point, a couple years ago with the Masters, like they would take the top 200 from each age group, and they would take only the top 20 from each region, and you got to move on to, for the age group qualifiers, it was an online thing. For the open qualifiers, it was the regionals. They've expanded that, and now they have a whole quarterfinals for the age groups, and then that would take them to they've broadened the net for everybody in every way to make it as accessible of a platform for whoever wants to try it.
Yeah.
And that's, I think, the key thing to focus on. Whoever wants to try it. If you don't, that does not mean you coming to the gym every day and putting in the effort and consistently getting better means any of that isn't also still worth it. Right. You don't have to do the open.
Right.
And there is, like, I honestly am like, it's no big deal. Like it's not a missed opportunity. It's not you're going to feel like you're left out. Like you just are going to do something else at the time. Not even something else. You'll probably still do the exact same workout. We'll just scale it or modify it or change it to however it needs to be for that person at that time with where they are with their fitness and their health. And that's what excites me about it more than anything else. Yeah. But that question that I artificially asked, this is why, this is one workout across an entire year. Well, 3 workouts this year across an entire year where, hey, look, we're not going to coach you as much. I'm not going to tell you, hey, push your knees out or hey, get to like, I'm not going to give you as your coach any really like in the moment guidance. Yeah. I may cheer, I may count reps, and guess what? You may get no repped. Like that's too, like if you're not hitting depth on your air squat or you don't lock out on that snatch with the dumbbell or whatever else comes out, you don't open your hips on the box jump, no rep.
Which is like, if you're in a workout, like in the training standpoint,
right?
There's 50 wall balls. If you miss the target, I think it was Andrew yesterday. We're doing wall balls yesterday, and the ball hit the target on the way down one time, and then like he got it 10 feet, but didn't actually quite touch the target. Blah blah blah. And it was like you're moving now, great. In the open, those are no reps. And it's like, well, why there's no reps? Like I got up 10 feet. Well, it's like you have to think about the squat. You have to hit the target. It has to hit it at the peak, not on the way down. Has to it has to do these things. But it's like, in a regular class, I'm not going to no rep you. But now it's like, if you've ever done wall balls, especially in an open workout, and you have X amount, and someone no reps you on a single one, it is a kick in the gut. And so you're not done until all the work is done the way it is told.
I think we talked about that last week, right?
Yeah.
The difference between movement standard and the difference between points of performance. Right. One is to develop training efficacy, and the other is to determine competition standards. Yeah. So these workouts, they're competition standards. Yeah. And that's right. Again, that is a test of your fitness. Mm-hmm. Mental and emotional, maybe more than physical, but also a little bit of physical. Yeah. And so like all of a sudden it recalibrates, like, I don't understand. Like I did 26 rounds of Cindy. That's a ton of air squats. But were every single one of those squats to depth?
Yeah.
Did every single push-up go past below, your chest go below parallel?
Right.
Were you locked out at the top and your hips are fully open at every single air squat? Hey, unless somebody was watching it or you put it on camera, shit don't happen.
Did your chin actually go over the bar?
Right? Like I get it. And you're allowed to write that score down in SugarWOD because it's your score, it's your log, it's your record.
Yep.
But when we do it as a competition, 3-point line is there on the basketball court for a reason.
Yep.
You don't get 3 points shooting from the foul line.
Nope.
Right? Unless you have 3 foul shots. And you make all 3 of them.
True point.
Right.
It's
But
true.
if I'm practicing to make my 3-point shots and I just stand behind the 3-point line and every day I just take shot after shot after shot and I miss it, as your coach, I'm not going to let you do that. I'm going to say, hey, why don't we move in a little bit closer? Let's get better at shooting and making, and then we'll back you up, aka increase the intensity.
Yeah.
Right. Like that's the idea. So it's game time, and I like game time.
So rolling that now into your blog about RX month.
Yes.
Cool. So we can kind of we've gone over like what RX means in the open, what it looks like from a standard standpoint, like how you're supposed to move. We've talked about the points performance in your movements. So now for the month of April, RX month, what does RX? So we can do that.
What are we talking about?
What does RX actually mean?
So the real easy way to say this is, and we can use this going off of the open. So when the open was designed, when Dave Castro and his team wrote these open events for the last however long he's been writing them, they sat down, and if you haven't read Castro's book, it's actually not The Road to the Games. It's not bad to get a sense of like how this programming thing works. He has an idea of how long he wants someone to work, how heavy or hard he wants it to be, or how much volume or work he wants somebody to get done in a certain amount of time. Those are your 3 dials that you can constantly be tweaking to get an intended stimulus.
Right.
So if he wants the first event to be a 10-minute workout, he can either make it a 10-minute AMRAP, or he can make it some sort of rounds for time and tweak the load, the volume, and the difficulty of the movement to get it to about 10 minutes of work. Yeah. He is not programming for Eric Hoyp and Jack Ryan.
No.
He is programming for Matt Frazier and Tia Claire too.
Not Matt anymore.
Good point. Matt. But he's still programming for Matt Frazier because he now knows what is the best.
Yep.
He programmed for the best. You scale for the rest. And so he programs these open workouts as a test of capacity for the best in the world, because this is the first step on the road to the games, the intended stimulus of a workout. And that's why those open releases are great, because they give the rest of us, without a doubt, I watch the top do it, and I say to myself, okay, I'm going to get about half of what they got. If it's an AMRAP and I'm doing for volume, and then if it's for time, whatever they got, double it and add a minute or 2. That's what I should probably expect.
Realistically, yeah. Like if you look at something like Cindy, the 20-minute AMRAP of 5, 10, 15 pull-ups, push-up squats, we already use that. Like a guy like Matt Fraser is getting how many rounds of Cindy? I
mean, just at some point they reach physical capacity, but 36 to 40-ish rounds.
Right.
They're going about 30 seconds around.
30 seconds around. We just did Cindy in the gym 2 weeks ago.
And most, right, yeah.
Like,
and so
20-ish rounds. Like that's the...
So from an RX prescribed, the prescription is prescribing the difficulty of the movements, the load used, and the volume of the amount of work to drive the participants into an intended stimulus. Mm-hmm. That is when it's used in a training methodology context.
Which is every workout programmed outside of the open.
Open, right. When we shift over, and this is why it gets confused, when we shift over to a competition standpoint, when I say RX, all I'm saying is defined movement standards for this category, right? Like if I play on a youth soccer league field, the field's not as big as a professional field. Baseball, right? Baseball, I think it's at 12. They go to a slightly longer pitching mound and slightly longer baselines. And then when they go to, I think when they turn 14 or 13 or 14, they go to regulation, quote unquote, pro regulation size fields. That's the same thing here. So when we talk about in competition, RX simply means this is the defined standard scaled. This is the next defined standard found scaled. defined standard, then foundations is the next defined standard. When we do this RX challenge month in April, the goal is looking at a workout. I see what's written on the board. And as an athlete, I generally fall into two camps. I look at it and go, I can't do that. Or I look at it and I go, I'm gonna do that, come hell or high water. Yeah. Neither is effective, because at no point do you look at it and go, okay, if I was moving really, really well and the top of the game, what should this take? How long should this take me? Or how much work should I get accomplished in the time that they have established that I have to work? Oh, okay. Well, I'm going to have to scale that movement because my shoulder is hurt. I can't go that heavy on the squat. Okay, no big deal, but I can do that run. All right, cool. So you're already thinking like, what is my intended stimulus and what is my intended priority here? What do I want to focus on? That's now a question that you can take and ask your coach rather than, I can't do that. That's not an effective question. An effective question is, I'm looking at this and I know I can do this and I'm pretty sure I can do this. I'm not sure what the focus or the priority here is, because if you want me to be able to get the time, I can't go that heavy. Yeah. But if you want me to go that heavy, I'm going to miss the time a little bit. Now I can go, ooh, really good point. I want you to go heavy. We'll just cut your reps down a little bit. That keeps you in the right time zone. There you go. Bam. Collaborative, coactive modeling, or what's the word I'm looking for? Movement towards the intended stimulus. That's the challenge of the RX month.
The stimulus is not necessarily do the workout as written. No. It's for example, today's workout, the overhead lunges, the sit-ups, and the run.
Yeah.
Time domain, people should be falling into the
10 to 15. It's a big one because it's a lot of variables there, but 10 to 15 minutes. Yeah. Sweet spot being about 12. Yeah. Guess what? I coached 4 classes, 3 athletes. And the deal is like, once we kind of like, we're just practicing it. We're just practicing it right now. The open is a great time to practice it. April will go like, all right, cool. Let's give it a shot. Guess what? We're all going to screw it up. If we get 30% across the month on this, well done, right? Like that's really good. Because every time you miss, you're going to miss a little bit closer to the target. Yeah. But about 3 athletes across however many 15, 20 that came this morning total so far. Either they went too light and so they were too fast. Nobody really went too heavy. Yeah. Or we didn't do enough reps because the movement itself, the overhead lunges, is tough. So you may be limited by position. So you can't go any heavier really without it being dangerous and mechanically unsound. Right. So you're kind of limited. You can only go so heavy. Hey, let's up the volume then. We could have done more reps. Yeah. And so, this is learning for everybody. Yeah. And so when you finish that workout under 10 minutes, you miss the stimulus.
And this is where we can look at the rep scheme too. Written it as like when you get to those bigger sets, it should take you about 2 to 3 sets, right?
So it's when you go for the right. I said I think I threw the people off where I said you still want to try to go unbroken on those overhead lunges, but it's not. But I did multiple times say, but it's not required. Right. What is really, really the focus here is we want to be moving well across the lunges. All the rest of this junk is just to fatigue you for those lunges.
You can do sit-ups and you can do the run. Like you can push those. The lunges are the sweet spot.
What happened is everybody wants to go really fast on those other things. So they go lighter on the lunges, which look, this is why it's learning. Because it's hard. It's scary to go overhead like that, right? Yeah. This is a new movement. It feels difficult. And you're like, you don't know. And it's an ascending rep scheme. That's weird, right? Like there's all kinds of things. And
it gets harder as it gets longer.
It's loud and it's confusing. And that's the whole point. Yeah. And Alex said it perfect. He's actually my gratitude for today. Cool. He goes, wait, you mean you're going to keep pushing me out of my comfort zone and expanding my boundaries so that I have to keep improving? Darn it. And I was it was really funny and really well timed. Yeah. And everybody laughed. Like it was landed. He landed that really well. And he did awesome today. And when it was over, him and Evan both looked at each other and I kind of looked at them both. I went, too light. And they both went, yeah. Right. And so that light bulb of oh, that was really cool versus Joe who nailed it. And when he finished, he goes, that workout was a ton of fun. It was so hard, but he's like, oh, I get it. When you get the
But you get
stimulus,
it's a win
that's
too,
what it's
right?
supposed
Like
to
it's
feel
not
like.
the win of like I did that weight or that, like that's
Right,
there, but like
right.
when you hit it in the sweet spot, like
Yeah.
oh, there it is.
There it is.
Yeah.
And so it was really, really fun process.
Yeah.
It's going to be exhausting by the time we're done in April, but I guarantee you every single athlete and us as coaches
Yeah.
are going to be on a whole nother playing field
Yeah.
for the rest of the year with how to optimize the hour you have in the gym
Right.
to get the most out of your training.
There you go.
And then when things catastrophically happen, injury, whatever, life steps in, you have a more robust understanding of like, okay, I can still come to the gym and not do a single thing written on that board and still get into the ballpark of the stimulus.
Yeah.
So when people are like, my knee really hurts, I don't think I should come to, sorry, wrong ailment. And that's not you, Drew. I don't mean it that way. It's just my knees always hurt. But that's what I always think, right?
Yeah.
My knee's kind of twiggy. Maybe I shouldn't do anything today. And I
Yeah.
always remind myself, like, hold on, dude, you can ride the bike. You can do strict pull-ups and strict handstand push-ups, and
Yeah.
you can probably figure out how to feel the same way as
Yeah.
all those other people who are doing something
Yeah.
else. So that's also where it'll help all of us have a better confidence to be consistent.
Yeah.
There you go.
There you go.
And we are like almost
Cool.
way out of time here.
Yeah,
So
we're good.
You got it.
Awesome.
Your gratitude.
My gratitude. It's funny. I feel like I just need to have like a weekly wrestling segment on our podcast now.
No.
Just because there was this. So pro wrestling can be very polarizing, and like there's WWE, which is like the big one. And then there's like independents. There's AEW, which is more like it's not nearly as big as WWE.
Yeah.
It's like hardcore fans act like it is. It's not.
I don't know what camp you fall in.
Like, come on, let's be real. WWE's been around for like 50 years. AEW's been around for like 2.
Yeah.
They're not there. Maybe one day, but not yet. But they had this match. They had a pay-per-view on Sunday. It was an exploding barbed wire death match. Right? This is the main event. And it was like all the buildup. And so what it is, the ropes are wrapped around in barbed wire, and if you run into the ropes, you get caught by barbed wire, but also explosions go off, so you explode. And then they had all these other like gimmicks. They had exploding bat wrapped in barbed wire.
This is WWE.
This is AEW.
Oh,
this is
okay,
AEW.
wow.
And so this is where like wrestling purists, like the old school guys, are like, what is
dumb.
this garbage?
Yeah,
what is this garbage?
It's so fake.
It's
I'm done.
trigger. And so anyway, what's with matches like that, so wrestlers so often rely on the gimmicks to like get you into it. Right?
Yeah.
And so my gratitude is the two guys that were working the match. It was cool to watch them because wrestling is storytelling.
Yeah.
And so
you've done actually a really good job of
where they go
that.
to try to throw each other. They're trying to throw each other in the ropes, and they're like, back off. And like, the ropes are such an integral part of doing this dance, this pro wrestling.
Yeah.
Now it's been taken away. And I think it was so watching it was like, God, that's got to be so hard.
And they still made it work.
They still made it work.
Okay.
And it was actually a great match. And then what made me laugh, because again, this is pro wrestling, is the story is, so if you hit the ropes or whatever, explosions go off. There's also a 30-minute clock. So at the end of 30 minutes, whether the match is done or not, the ring's going to explode. It's all going to go off, right? And that was it. So the match finished, and then there was all this stuff at the end. And at the end of the day, the guy that lost now gets pummeled by all these other guys. The guy that was champ walks out.
Yeah.
They handcuff him so he can't get out of the ring. So he's gonna be in the ring when everything explodes.
explodes.
And then the guy's like friend comes running out, and he's like, "No, I gotta save him! Like, come on, get up!" And he won't get him. So now there's a timer, 10, 9, 8, counting down. He throws himself on top of him, like
he's gonna shield him.
Like
from
he's
something?
gonna shield him, right?
Yeah.
And so the explosion goes off. And it was like a kid's fireworks show. It was like sparklers on the ring post and a couple explosions over here. And I was laughing so hard because if you look at what the matches, this is usually done in Japan where they're insane in Japan.
Yeah.
And it's like huge explosions.
Yeah.
This was a kid's fireworks show. And it was so funny.
Nice try, boys.
And the guy that laid on top of the grenade to protect him, played it like he was dead. And it was like, you could hear people booing because like, oh my God. So it was like the guys that worked it, like did what they were supposed to do and sold it. Obviously there was some technical difficulties.
All the other gimmicky crap around it.
Yeah.
Ruined
And
the
so
whole experience.
that's what people will remember it for.
Yeah,
but it was just like so classic pro wrestling. So talking with my friends and watching people blow it up, no pun intended. Was so funny. So that's why I love it. It's just a great escape from like
that is cool.
It was fun.
And you're right. They tell a damn good story.
Yeah, it was cool.
Yeah.
So
all right.
Here we are, pro wrestling. Love
here
it.
we are. The Open is here.
It's here.
On the creek. We'll see you.